All right, fellas, welcome back to Random City Sports Ballers. We are here. Okay, today is my final draft of the season. This is my last fantasy baseball draft. This would be the number seven. We have two of them are points leagues. This one is another standard head-to-head categories league. And boy, I'll tell you, I chose today. A lot of you know what happened last year with my son last summer. I chose today because today would have been his birthday. Well, I guess it's his, heavenly birthday. I love you, kiddo. And I figured today, his birthday, March 8th, would be a perfect day to get the final draft in. I loved when he would join me for a draft. We'd have a good time. Sometimes we pick on other players for drafting the wrong guy just because, we always trying to just have fun. Just have a little fun, joke around. Last night, my other kids, all four of my other kids, we all went out to do a little bit of a celebration of life. We went out, we did some karaoke at a pinball arcade. I didn't know that pinball arcade still existed. This place has nothing but pinball machines. It was so much fun. My son would have loved it. All my other kids, we had a blast. And we all sang karaoke so much because everybody who was there was wanting to play pinball for the very few number of people that were actually there. It's a Saturday night pinball arcade. It wasn't too big of a crowd, but we got to sing the whole night. The five of us, were up there just singing song after song. It was a great time. We sang some songs to memorialize, our loss. We sang some fun songs. My kids did a lot of Disney songs. They're up there singing Let It Go and all this other stuff, and so I think we chased out some people. Some of the folks who were playing pinball actually left, so they might not have appreciated our song choices. But we were having a blast. I don't care. So anyways, here we are, our final draft of this 2026 fantasy baseball season. And as you can see up in the top left, I am the 12th pick yet again. Now, I've been looking through some of the other players that are in this league. And guys, our old buddy George is in this league, but he's pick number 5. So let's see if he tries to assemble the same thing he usually does. But it doesn't really matter. I'm pick 12. Nobody's draft choices really change what I do. But I have looked through some other teams. For example, No Ma'am, who's pick number 6. I've looked at their draft over here in this league for this year. Fellas, they draft basically my philosophy. Look at how many of these similarities there are. We're talking power bats all up here, a little bit of stolen bases. Then we start in with the army of pitchers in round 6, 7, 8. Now, Lewis Robert, that's not one that I would normally take. Chase Burns, Lodolo, he waits on shortstop the way that I'm waiting on shortstop. But he waits a little longer and goes with Dansby Swanson, it looks like. A little more of the army of pitchers. Waits for third base for Colson Montgomery. Waits for second base for Gleyber Torres. More starting pitchers. Waits on catcher. Throws in 2 extra bats at the end. And one of them's Adolis Garcia, who could have a turnaround. But this guy, he's drafting an army of pitchers. He's not putting a whole lot of bats on the bench. And he's waiting on those positions that are, you can get the Swansons, the Montgomerys, the Torres late in the draft. There's some other guys, like Nolan Gorman, Spencer Steer. There's fellas at the end of the draft, Kyle Manzardo. There are some pretty great bats that you can still sneak some power in at the end. So this fella, No Ma'am, which that's a reference to, you remember the show Married with Children, Al Bundy and the Bundy family? Him and his friends started the No Ma'am movement. What is it? Men Against Amazonian Masterhood. Yeah, it was good stuff. Men against Amazon. Well, either way, it was about women. So that no ma'am thing, that kind of cracked me up when I saw it. George is right here at number 5 with stealing bases. I'm going to keep an eye on his draft and, just watch because George is... Okay, first pick, Ohtani. Second pick will be Aaron Judge. Going to probably duck burps here. Yeah, there goes Aaron Judge. And then I personally like Soto here. Some other people like Bobby Witt. I can wait on a shortstop and I want those numbers from Soto. This is a categories league. I want to improve across the board everywhere I can. So anyways, with this pick 12, I'm not sure what's going to get back to me. Am I going to be taking a pitcher batter? Bobby Witt went third. I have Cal Raleigh. I won't be doing that again. I'll be looking for Kyle Schwarber maybe. I don't have any Schwarber yet this year. It just hasn't worked out in my drafts to have Schwarber. But... yeah, when this comes back to me, there's a chance I could have one of those top pitchers. I'll have a couple of great bats, maybe. I mean, we don't know how this is going to go. And seem to be taking a little bit extra time here. Tough choice here for ZW4. I'm assumed that, much like with my team, where I name them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so I can keep track separately. I'm assuming this means this is this guy's 4th league. And he's taking it down to the wire. 3 seconds left. 2, 1. I guess he got Soto. Can't be upset by that. Ramirez went with 5th pick to stealing bases. George, you got him, buddy. Jose Ramirez, that's a good pick for George. And no ma'am. No ma'am. If he follows what I would be doing, he's probably looking at, let's see, what are we doing here? Maybe Julio Rodriguez, maybe Ronald Acuna, Ellie De La Cruz is where he went. So he won't be waiting on Dansby Swanson this time around. He's already got his Ellie De La Cruz, so your shortstop is lined up. Tariq Skubal went with number 7. And then round here, come on, home run, Anthony. That's a Yahoo name, isn't it? He left the Yahoo name up there. There's a couple of teams that do that. Gabe Castro's Crushers, I think is the name of that. That pick 11. But where I'm pick 12, I get to just look at what's there. I don't have to worry about someone grabbing someone right in front of me. I just grab what I want each time. 2 picks back to back every round. Love that. Love it, love it, love it. Acuna went with number 8. The Amazins. I don't know how amazing you are, my friend. Show me something amazing. Home run, Anthony F. left. Oh, he's on his phone. When you're on your phone, every time you switch to a different app, it basically says you logged out. And Rodriguez went with the number 9 pick. That leaves Kyle Tucker for the Billies. I don't know. Depends on what he's planning, but everybody's got a plan. You walk in here with a plan, and it all falls apart on you quickly as you draft, doesn't it? Maybe this would be one of those moments where I would okay, Kyle Tucker, yep, where I would take like Skeens and Crochet, really mix it up. I definitely don't see that happening. But, I mean, it's a thing I could do because they're both there. It'd be a silly idea. Okay, so what are the positions that okay, I don't want to be digging too awful deep here, fellas. I think we're going to queue up Skeens because he's right here. There's Henderson, Caminero, Tatis, Churio, Guerrero, Raleigh, Schwarber, Kurtz, Alonso. Like I said, I don't think I want to go that deep. But I think we're going to go ahead and take, I'm looking at Caminero. Because remember, third base is one where I've had trouble. First base is one where I screwed up big time the other day. Left a freaking hole there. But Caminero, I think I'd like to go ahead and take him, and then we'll go ahead and take Paul Skeens. Should I take Skeens? Should I? Should I do it? Should I do it? I mean, I've got all these other guys to choose from here, fellas. Got this whole other thing. No, you're right. Schwarber was such a great year last year. You know, look at those RBIs. Look at that, 132 RBIs, 56 home runs, 111 runs, even stole some bases. You put that with Caminero. What did Caminero do last year? Look at all those RBIs and home runs. So, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take my first Kyle Schwarber. Huzzah! We got two big power bats. Two big power bats at the beginning. Going to have to look at stolen bases in the later rounds, figure out what I'm going to do to make up some of that. I'd like to get the numbers over 100 on stolen bases, as you know. So I'll also have to, you know, figure out where to fill in the army of pitchers. All right. We'll get back to me as soon as we get there. Oh, Henderson and then Tatis. So there's a lot of folks here going, Skeens is still there? I was like, yeah, Skeens is still there, fellas. Someone in this middle of the second round to be getting Paul Skeens has got to be just shocked. Just shocked. Maybe he'll get back to me in the third round. Who knows? That would be unheard of. And I think, okay, if it gets to... Okay, there went Skeens. There went Skeens. We don't even need to talk about it anymore. And, you know, do you take the other top pitcher? There's three top guys, you know, Boston having Crochet again. This is an amazing pick for someone as well. But there's Churio, Guerrero, Riley, Kurtz, Chisholm, Alonso. So many good picks can be made here. So many good picks. Nothing would surprise me. Nothing would surprise me out of someone taking Crochet here. Am I pronouncing that right? Is it Crochet or Crotchet? It feels like it's Crochet. What is wrong with me? Why can't I get that when I'm reading it? I can hear it and I hear it fine. There goes Guerrero with the 17th pick. So I can hear it and say it fine after I hear it, but when I'm only reading it, I just all of a sudden, I've got this language barrier inside my brain going, dude, you don't know how to talk anymore. I don't know what it is. It's weird stuff, weird, wild stuff. There goes Cal Raleigh before Crochet. Securing that catcher position. I mean, you got the number one catcher. And he went with the 19th pick to No Ma'am. No Ma'am's got to be happy about that. Come on, George. This is where you normally take... he would have taken Caminero or Guerrero in the other ones, and he takes Kurtz right here. It's a good start for old George. You know, a couple of good bats in Ramirez and Kurtz. So that's a good start, George. Well done. Oh, Churio has an update. What'd he do? Should rejoin the lineup. Okay, so he was hurt his hand a little bit. All right, well, nothing to worry about there, I don't think, if he's coming back that quick. So we can just, if you're drafting and you still like Churio, keep in mind that's a minor injury. I don't know how it holds him out. So, and let's see, ZW4, bro, he took. Was it Soto? Soto with his first pick. Wow, this would be a good spot to take Alonso if I was that pick. Yeah, I'd just be taking Alonso. He took Jazz Chisholm. So, okay, that's fine pick two. Although Chisholm, you know, he's going to have to improve on those numbers last year. A little bit of an injury problem, but he just, to be worth it at second base, it's pretty easy. Second base is so bad this year, fellas. So bad. But Jazz Chisholm, he could be the guy that really helps you out. Now, in points leagues, I'm definitely looking at Chisholm. In category leagues, I'm a little more concerned because of the way I like to draft. And although, there goes Alonso with the 22nd pick. Yeah, that's also going to be a good help for your team right there. You know, Alonso in Baltimore, he's going to get over 30 home runs. He might approach 40. He's going to get plenty of RBIs. Churio goes with the 23rd pick, and back-to-back for Power Cashton. Back-to-back picks. What you got? Power Cashton. Is that it? That's a Yahoo name too, isn't it? Just like Perfect Game B. Ketel Marte with the first of his back-to-backs. Second base is bad this year. Second base is really bad. And Yoshi Yamamoto. There goes Sanchez with the next pick. All right, I'm going to take a second off here, and I'll just highlight along the way. Then Bryce Harper went right there. We're just another pick until my turn. My eyes are on James Wood. My eyes are on a pitcher to get underway here. Let's take a look what else we got available here. We got Rooker. We know the pitchers. Wyatt Langford, Mookie Betts. Wyatt Langford, tell you, that's a good source of stolen bases. I'm not taking Mookie Betts. It's early to take Langford. Rafael Devers is a first baseman, although a hamstring is going to hold him back a little, right? It's a little early for the likes of Bellinger and whatnot, but we're gonna come up here. All right, we've got some pitchers we can look at. Just seriously, there are some good pitchers up in here. I could do a back-to-back on Seattle pitchers even. But I do like the idea of having James Wood for those extra stolen bases right here. So let's go ahead and take him. And then we look through these pitchers. Gilbert, Wu, Brown. This could be my first time of having Hunter Brown. Logan Webb is another one. So I think we're going to go ahead and we'll have our first Hunter Brown this draft. All right, let's pull that. Boom, Hunter Brown. All right, so we got James Wood and we got Hunter Brown with the 3rd and 4th round. Pretty happy with those picks. I've got to look at first base, second base, shortstop, one more outfielder, and a catcher, and I'm thinking I might be targeting some of those later catchers. Let's take a look at catchers here. In the catchers, you got Contreras, who's a fine one. Langoliers last year had over 30 home runs, good batting average, decent RBIs and runs. Hunter Goodman, he's going to be in the lineup a lot more this year, so I can wait longer. Langoliers, while good, I would rather wait for Hunter Goodman. And then there's Ben Rice, who's going to get more at-bats this year than he had last year. That's not, you can get him around the same time as Hunter Goodman, so either one of those is fine. Will Smith, Agustin Ramirez, this is one I do like. There's stolen bases to be had here. There are a lot of stolen bases to be had there. So, catcher's one I'll be holding off on. All right, I'm up next. I'm not 100% sure which players I'll be going after, but as you know, I've got Garcia on my mind. But here's Jarren Duran, okay, who is having a very good spring. He's hitting with power for the spring. He's had a couple home runs just a couple days ago. He's going to get stolen bases. He fills in for an outfield position. And, fellas, what else have we got in outfield that's going to steal that many bases? Let's take a look. Arozarena. We know I'm taking Maikel Garcia right here. We know that's happening. I could look at Soderstrom maybe. What do we got going on at first base? Naylor. I don't know that he repeats those. I don't know the stolen bases coming back for him. But, all right, so what we're going to do here, we are going to take Duran and we're going to take Maikel Garcia. And now our stolen bases are better off. Now we're sitting good. What we still need is a shortstop. We still need first base. We still need catcher. It looks like I'm doing that thing to myself at first base again. Why am I doing that? All right, and then after that went Cade Smith. Good pick for who is that team? But anyways, it's a good pick. See you back in a few. Coming up next, and we've got folks that are taking a lot of relief pitchers. And they're leaving me some starting pitchers that are ever so tempting. There went George Kirby, but Valdez, I'm queuing him up because I'm taking him this round. But then who else? I don't think that Hunter Goodman gets back to me. And I would like to put him in there to make up some of those home runs because he is going to play a lot. So I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to take Goodman and I'm going to take Valdez. There, and then we've got our second starting pitcher. We've got a power catcher. This is all looking real good for what we do, fellas. Now we can work on some more of that army of pitchers. I got to look at first base, which I'm thinking Michael Busch, Spencer Torkelson if I wait. Shortstop, I'm looking at Willie Adames. Jeremy Pena's going to sit around for a while now that he's hurt. And a couple of utilities. So let's start working on round 9 and 10. We'll get a closer and possibly another starting pitcher or Michael Busch. Okay, we're back, and fellas, I definitely am taking a closer here, but I also am interested. I haven't done any Trey Yesovich yet. What's his most recent information? He's throwing, he's monitoring the workload. You know, I just don't know if I can chance it with him. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm concerned. I'm concerned, okay? I have every right to be concerned, right? But, so let's go over here. We're going to look at a relief pitcher. I might do 2 of them. Definitely taking Hoffman. I like Hoffman here. He's not getting back to me. I like Palencia, but he'll get back. So let's start out with Hoffman. And then let's take a look at the starting pitchers that are not. You know, we got Sonny Gray, who throws a ton of strikeouts. He gets a lot of wins, but his ERA and WHIP suffer. Chase Burns, I don't know if I trust the young player yet. We've got starting pitchers all over the place here. I have no Sonny Gray yet, though. But here's the thing. Guys, I can't do it to myself again. Michael Busch is sitting here. Shouldn't I do him? Or can I take the chance on Torkelson, Manzardo? Yeah, you're right. Take the starting pitcher. You know it fits your draft strategy. And there we go. Starting pitcher, relief pitcher. And I still need first base, shortstop, couple of utilities. Ugh. Okay, we're back on me. And, y'all, I'm looking at starting pitcher potentially in the likes of, well, Glasnow if he can complete a season. Castillo is having a, I don't know if I don't know that I trust him. Lodolo, Schlittler, you know, there's some starting pitchers here that I can start looking at very soon. I like Pepio, I like Mackenzie Gore, I really like Trevor Rogers. So let's take a look at the relief pitchers, because I think I'd like to go ahead and grab McGill right here. You know, so we'll cue him and take a look at some other stuff. Remember, we need first base, which I don't think there's anything pressing. We need shortstops, which I don't think there's anything pressing. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take Trevor McGill. And then for our second pick, I'm going to look back at these starting pitchers. Maybe Lodolo is worth, you know, he's worth a look, right? Schlittler, depends on how many innings he can get up to. Lodolo has already proven he can get to 150. So I'm going to take Lodolo on this one. Back to us in about, well, there. All right, fellas, we know that if we want Colson Montgomery, we have to take him here, or our friend, No Ma'am, will be taking him. So he's queued up. And then I'm in the starting pitcher hunt. I have limited Tanner Bibby. I've got a bunch of Ranger Suarez, but I think I'd like to have a Tanner Bibby. So let's go ahead and do this Colson Montgomery and Tanner Bibby. Improve on that ERA and WHIP, buddy. You got to get better. Well, someone just took Caballero with the 178th pick. They were really focused on those stolen bases. All right, we burned ourselves before. So one of them is going to be Spencer Torkelson. But then let's have a look at the starting pitchers. Ladies and gentlemen, Alcantara. I present Tommy John recovery, but man, how's he gonna do? I had such a rough time last year looking at him play. Ugh. You know, that's a tough one. Do you take that chance? I mean, we've got some other guys here. Matthew Boyd. I like Matthew Boyd. I don't mind Zach Gallen. There's Ryan Nelson. But one of them is definitely going to be Torkelson, so let's go ahead and Torkelson that up. And you know what? Can he get back to form? Is it worth taking that draft pick? I mean, we know who Flaherty is, and he's going to get some good, numbers here. We know Matthew Boyd. He did fine last year if you're not looking for a strikeout king. I like Matthew Boyd so much. Who else is there that you have to jump to? I mean, all of these guys. So many that I've got a bunch queued up over here. A bunch. Oh, by the way, I've got Berger and Manzardo queued up too. But we're going to go ahead and take Matthew Boyd. There. Now we got everything filled in except for our utilities, and that's what we're looking at Berger and Manzardo for. We're going to have a bench bat, and we now have filled in our entire starting lineup of bats. We need more pitching, though, because I've got 4 more spots for pitchers and 1 for a bat on the bench. We're up next, and I have queued up several starting pitchers. First on my list is Ryan Nelson. Now, I did that because I didn't expect Edward Cabrera to get back to me, so I might be taking Nelson and Cabrera here. I mean, I like Nelson. I've got him a couple of times. Do I want to take him again? I don't know. But, with Cabrera just sitting here, just being Cabrera, well, he's queued up now. And then I've also got Smith and Ashcraft. There's Noah Cameron might be a decent one. I don't know how that's going to work out. We're throwing darts down here, right, guys? We're throwing darts. So throw your darts. I like Cantillo. We all know I like Cantillo. All right, so we'll take Cabrera with that first one. Let's just take a look at all players. Make sure there's not some bat that I need to just go, oh, he fits my mold. Marcus Semien, that's going to get very little production for me if he continues on his path. So I'm not seeing anyone that's Gleyber Torres, man. Wow, what a way to make up if you've missed second base, right? I mean, you're making up for some room there. Trent Grisham, maybe he fits the mold on the home runs. But Aaron Nola, guys, and what a bad year last year, right? But he's doing all right in the spring here. So, which route do we go with that? Cabrera and Nola? Maybe. I don't have a lot of Nola, so let's just go ahead and do that one. And we'll come back. We'll be looking at these utility bats, bench bats, and I still need 2 more bench pitchers. So I need 3 bats and 2 pitchers. Not bad. I'm up next, and the Bryce Miller just went. I'm looking at another pitcher. I like Shane Smith. I have no problems there. Fine rookie season. I think he's the opening day starter. So I always like that. A guy who's going to open, the season as the opening day starter. That's always a fun guy to have. And let's see what else we can do here. Oh, I should look at some of my... Here, we'll take Smith. No, I'll give it a few seconds. Manzardo, Berger, and Grisham are my guys that I want for my utilities and bench bat. I've already lost it on stolen bases. We knew that was happening. So we'll do this, and then we'll take Trent Grisham right after. Because if I want him, he'll be the one that goes before the other 2. Berger and Manzardo, they're a lot of times going undrafted, which is not great. But so we got another pitcher in there. I've got room for another pitcher and a bench bat. And then my 2 utilities are these fellas right here. My other pitcher I'm looking at, I had Leiter, Painter, Holmes, and Cantillo, Ashcraft, and Nelson. Any number of these guys, I'll take any one of them. Any one of them. But I've got to get those other 2 bats. That's important to my teams. We're back with... Okay. Knowing that I've hurt myself, someone took Kyle Manzardo right in front of me over here. But knowing that I've hurt myself on stolen bases, I'm going to count on Spencer Steer to bring his speed back up and catch more than 7. Get back up to that 2020 season that he had just a couple years ago. So one of these guys is going to be Spencer Steer, and the other one is going to be Ashcraft. And there we go. Then I've got one more bench bat that'll probably be Jake Berger. And then we'll take a look at where we ended up and make sure we got all our numbers right. All right, coming up, final pick of the draft. The ultimate dart throw, your last draft choice. I've got 2 of my guys still sitting there that are queued up. Ryan Nelson at pitcher and Jake Berger. Since I like having one bench bat, fellas, if this guy doesn't take Jake Berger, I'm going to take him. Look, it's a dart throw, big dart throw. Berger has been hitting home runs in the spring. So maybe he's got those power numbers back up. Maybe he's getting thrown some, just terrible pitching, and then he's just getting lucky on them. I don't know. I don't know what the truth is there, but it's a positive sign. Jake Berger, just a couple of years ago, think about him. He was over 30 home runs regular, so, he was a big part of helping my team a couple of years ago, as a matter of fact. Last year, though, fell down to, did he get 16 home runs? Let's take a look. What did he get? Yeah, 16 home runs. He doesn't steal bases. His batting average leaves a little to be desired. And hopefully his counting stats are up with more at-bats. He doesn't get demoted to the minors again. My God, what were you doing, Jake Berger? So we're going to take him. And that's going to have us looking over at our standings here. I want to see under 2025 numbers, did I get 850 runs? Yes, 852. 300 home runs? Yes, 318. 900 RBIs? Yes, 920. Stolen bases, and I said that was going to suffer with those first 2 picks, and it did. I want 100. I got to 93. And, taking Spencer Steer late, man, my later bats, my utility bats suffered because I focused on pitching, but look at what we did with pitching. Let's come on over here. I want 113 wins, or 100 wins. I got 113. I only got 2 closers, so I didn't get my numbers on saves. 1,500 strikeouts was definitely achieved. Low ERA and WEP, well, these are pretty low. These are not stellar, but they're pretty good. Ignore this thing here. Just pay attention to if you got your stats. And I got stats across the board mostly. This is suffering and saves, suffering and stolen bases, and I don't like this high of an ERA. I just don't care for that. But overall, I felt pretty good about all of it. George did what George does. George put together a team that I don't know what he's putting it together to do. So we'll go look at my team. I don't want to pick on George. George tries. He's trying his best, I'm sure. So Hunter Goodman, Spencer Torkelson, Michael Garcia, Junior Caminero, Colson Montgomery, and Kyle Schwarber, James Wood, Jaron Duran, Trent Grisham, Spencer Steer, Jake Berger. And then we've got Hunter Brown, Framber Valdez, Jeff Hoffman, Trevor McGill, Sonny Gray, Nick Lodolo, Tanner Bibby, Matthew Boyd, Edward Cabrera, Aaron Nola, Shane Smith, and Braxton Ashcraft. I am real happy with the quality of my starting pitchers. These guys, for the most part, will get around 150 innings at a minimum. We can't be sure what Aaron Nola is going to do. We can't be sure what Ashcraft is going to do. Nola may put together a better season. That's really taking a chance on Nola late there. And Ashcraft, last year he only had 69 innings, so what will be his max innings? Maybe 130. I don't know 100%. Not certain on what that'll be. But overall, I feel pretty good about this. I'm not feeling great about it, though, fellas. I think you know what happened here with these bench bats, these utilities and bench. I am not happy with these 3 picks. I would like Grisham to be on my bench or Steer on my bench. So I could have upgraded here, but that would have caused me to take a couple of less chances on starting pitchers. I could have traded in Sonny Gray or Nick Lodolo for a better bat, and that would have improved my lineup for sure. So overall, I do feel this is a playoff team, but I suffered in 2 categories. That is not ideal. Not ideal. Stolen bases, I'm going to struggle to be competitive, and saves, everybody's going to have to work on the waiver wire for saves. I mean, that's just how every season is. All right, so pick 12, win a different route, and we'll just have to, I'll be happy with the playoff team here. So thank you all for tuning in. This is our final draft, and we'll see you with some updates through the season, maybe some more talk through the preseason. All right, thanks for tuning in, fellas.